light of the events of the last couple of weeks, which thank God have been very good news in the sense that all our live hostages have come home and the others are slowly coming home, but they are coming home, and that is the main thing. But because of what's happened for the last 2 years and how we've all been feeling, I don't know about everybody else, but I know how I've been feeling and what a lot of my clients and a lot of my friends have been saying about, like I can't sleep at night, I'm so stressed out. I had a chat recently to my GP, and she said she has never, ever in her 40 years of being in practice prescribed so many antidepressants, tranquilizers, sleep medication, anything like that, like she has in the last 2 years. So it's very, very obvious that you don't have to be a genius to know that we're all being incredibly stressed out, all in different ways. Some of us are manifesting symptoms of that stress, whether it be headaches, whether it be breaking out in hives, whether it be not being able to sleep, whether it's tension in our back and necks, all these different kinds of things, eating too much, not eating at all those kinds of things are caused by stress and by anxiety and everything else. And on top of it all, we've had our day-to-day lives to carry on with everything related to that, what I mean, within our personal lives and, with family and with things like that. And we all know that life, just generally speaking, is stressful. And then to have, on top of it, to have what's gone on in the last 2 years for us in our country, and even for Hillary living in South Africa, has been affected by it, particularly, if you're very connected to Israel and, of course, to the religion in any way, So I decided that what I'm going to do is, I asked Hilary to come on tonight and to actually do with us, not just talk about this is what tapping is all about, and you tap on meridian points and it helps you to do this, this, and this, and that's the end of the subject. We are actually going to do the things, and we make it a very interactive evening, because when I have found that when we, I know for me personally, and as an educator as well as a life coach, I know that when we actually do something as opposed to just listening or watching, we absorb and learn far more, and we internalize far more than if it's just, okay, well, that was a nice video and that was it in the story, or I read that story and okay, so I kind of like understand what tapping is all about, but okay, so I think I'll go make myself a cup of coffee or have a glass of wine or go to bed or whatever it is. So Hilary agreed to actually take us through a tapping session and to show us exactly how it is and what we're going to do. I'm just going to mention, most of you know the routine and know how everything works with us, but for those of you who don't, the way that we work is we are now actually recording right now, but I ask you to please keep your questions for the end, because what we will do is when we open it up for questions, I'm going to cut the recording. So then anything we want to divulge, anything we want to say personally in a safe space can be done so without any worry about it being on recording and not being edited out or what's going to happen to it. Or I want to share something, but I don't want to say that it's going to go out on YouTube and be out in cyberspace. So we are going to keep our questions to the end. However, if you think, oh, help, I'm not going to remember, and she mentioned this, and well, I'm not going to remember, the best way to do it is put it in the chat, because then afterwards what we'll do is I'll just say that I have a question. I'm not going to say that Marianne or Vivian said or Vanessa said such and such. I'm just going to say there was a question about, okay? And that is how we will put it across so that nobody knows, and it'll be anonymous in the end. So that those on the call spoke about this or spoke about that. All right? Okay, so that's what we would do. All right? That's very important. Because we're a small group, I'm not going to go into breakout rooms. I don't think it's necessary. I think we can talk very nicely here amongst ourselves about how has stress affected you and what have you done to help you with the stress. Okay, and I'm asking the question, but I'm going to go first and tell you what I do, and that maybe can help you to give you a direction of what I'm talking about. Okay, thank God for my coaching, because I have learned many different techniques and tools, and I've got those all in my toolbox, which I then help my clients with as well. Tapping is something that we did have on Steel Sisters in a very, very short version of it in December, when we had Liz go from New Zealand, who did her thing on the call. Okay, but it's always good to have that refresher, and we are having a whole session just on tapping, not what Liz did when she spoke about other things as well. For me personally, stress, as we know, comes into it comes in many different forms. I have suffered from migraines for many years, and I know that very often what happens with me is that if I'm in a very stressful situation, I'm fine. Okay, I cope with it, I deal with it, and everything like that. The stressful situation is over, and oh boy, don't talk to me for the next 2 days. Okay, because I have a migraine from here to Kingdom Come. Leave me alone, close the door, shut up, don't come near me. Okay, and just give me my medicine and let me know where the bathroom is. That's all I want. So we all have different issues that come up for us. I know others get a lot of tension in their necks and in their shoulders, come up and that sort of thing. Other people talk about lower back pain, and in their hips, it comes up very much in their hips and that sort of thing. You find also that when you start talking to others and everything like that, when you normally are very friendly and very okay, and all of a sudden, yes, what do you want? And you start snapping at people, and you start, giving very short answers, and you come across in a very curt, short way, instead of being that warm, friendly person that you are capable of being and that you are. So for me, what I have done is that there are a number of different techniques that we can do. Okay, and we had also right in the middle of the wall, we had somebody by the name of Ilana Godley, who came on, and she spoke about emotional first aid, which is very, very important. And we did learn a little bit in emotional first aid, which is one of the things to do, is that when you are in a very stressful situation, and this is great for people who have anxiety, and that is there are many different ways, and obviously there's tapping, which I'm not going to go into because obviously Hilary will do that. But the one of the things that Ilana taught us, and which I use often with my clients when they are stressed out and everything like that, is a way of trying to distract yourself from what is the fear, what is that anxiety, what is causing that stress at that particular time. And one of the things to do is, of course, there's breath work that you can do, where you can take a deep breath in, hold it for 4 minutes, for 4 seconds, and then let it out for 4 seconds, and in for 4, out for 4, and you keep on doing that. There are many different ways of doing it. There's 4, 7, 4, or there are many different ways, and you can do what's good for you. Okay. I was also taught, strange enough, just before I had surgery, that a nurse taught me that she said, if you want to take your blood pressure, you can, instead of it going way up there where you don't want it to be, you wanted to keep it at a lower level. She said to me, yes, the deep breathing is fantastic, but she said to me, take short breaths. And she said, I'll show you. And she took my blood pressure and whatever it was, I don't remember. And then she said, okay, now do this. And she went, And like just very, very short, quick breaths, okay, but in, out, in, out, in, out, a few times. And we took my blood pressure again, and it dropped quite a lot. So that was a very interesting aspect as well, which I never knew about before and everything like that. Ilana taught us that one of the ways to do it and to distract yourself is to look around the room, which is very quick and easy to do. You don't need any tools. You're not being weird of doing strange things to your body, like if you're in the car and you're stressed out, or you're with other people and you don't want them to start seeing you doing this tapping and whatever it is, then they think you've gone a bit crazy. So what you can do is just look around the room and take the 5 senses. So you look at what 5 things can I see right now? What can I see in front of me right now? Okay, I can see the window, I can see my computer, I can see my phone, I can see a tissue box, I can see a pen. 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can hear. I can hear people talking outside. I can hear a car going by. I can hear somebody sneezing. I can hear the clock. I can hear the fan. Well, 4 things. So you choose 4 things. Then 3 things. 3 things that I can touch. Oh, excuse me. 3 things that I can touch. Whatever 3 things there are that I can touch. Okay. Touch my arm, can touch my watch. I can touch the desk. Okay. Just as an example. Okay. 2 things that you can smell. No, okay. I'm sitting in the office. I haven't got really much to smell. Okay, but what would I smell? Oh, I can just think of the smell of the aroma of a cup of coffee that's just been freshly made. I can smell the stinky toilet. Ugh. Okay, and just think of something along those lines. Okay, and then one thing you can taste. Now you're not eating at the moment. So, but then think of something that you love. Oh, that chocolate that I had the other day. Oh my God, just that smooth, silky feeling in my mouth, that it just, as it went down my throat, that burst of sugar, that taste of mint, whatever it was. Okay. So, and that way, by the time you've finished that, and you can do it in any order, it doesn't have to be in the order I just said. I said see first, and then hear, and then touch, and then a smell, and then taste. But it doesn't have to be in that order. If you're sitting in a restaurant and you've got a lot of smells around you, go for it and say the 5 smells. Okay. All right. If you're sitting in your bedroom and it's gone very quiet and the door's closed and there are no sounds, you can use hearing as the last thing that you can talk about. So you choose in which order it should be, the 5 things. Okay. And that will immediately distract you and make you feel better. Okay. Anybody else wants to share anything about how they are feeling, what's happened for them as far as stress goes in the last 2 years? Yeah, Sandy.
I have done tapping before, and I very much believe in it for headaches.
Yeah.
As soon as I get a headache, even if I'm in the car and even if the next person's looking at me, as you said, with that weird look, what's she doing? I'm doing it for me, so I don't care about them. And I would tap away. And usually by the time I'm on my journey back home, I realized my head disappeared after the tapping hours before. So I love the tapping, but what gives me unfortunately through stress, I had cancer, and then a few years after that, still stressed, had a heart attack.
Wow.
I won't let that happen again. And the way I do that is through my medical clowning, because I'm giving to people that need uplifting, which actually uplifts me. Even if I'm feeling a bit down or feeling a bit can't be bothered today, I get up and I go. And I will go. And I know that the person I'm looking at and playing with is going to get just as much benefit as I'm going to get.
It's not also.
That's my stress, by giving to others.
Brilliant. I love that. I love that. Okay, thank you. Okay. Marianne, you want to share? No? You're mute. You're mute.
Sorry.
Okay.
I've also been involved with tapping for about 20 years, and I've used it for so many different things. One of them being that a few years after we got here, I had a major allergy problem and I could barely breathe. I was totally blocked up. I couldn't talk. I couldn't eat soup or anything. Any liquid would choke me. And I started doing the tapping, and eventually I kind of forgot about it. And then I realized one day that my breathing was okay. So it was 100% from the tapping. There's no question in my mind. I've used it for back problems and you name it, I use my tapping. So I'm very happy about the tapping.
Okay, great. Thank you. But what's happened with you as far as stress goes? How do you deal with your stress? Is it just through the tapping or is there any other way?
Basically the tapping is a help, but also the when I do what I'm doing now, which is making anything with handcraft, takes me out of any stress. And
That's brilliant.
my trees are a major part of that now. Doing
Getting very
workshops and
creative.
things. Yeah.
Do you want to just show one of your trees just so that people can see what you do?
All right, I'll go fetch it. I'll be back.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to go on to Joanne. Joan. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh, okay,
But
that's
I'm not
good.
on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm very stressed, but I don't really have a tool to help me at the moment. So I'm looking for something.
Okay, great. So then Hilary will be able to help you and we'll show
Yeah.
you exactly how to do that. That's brilliant. Okay. Yeah. And you've been through a hell of a lot of stress in the last 2 years with your boys being in the army and things like that. Right. Okay. Annette, you want to share?
So I've been trying to tap for quite a while, Hillary, I'll tell you. She's helped me. One time I was on the bus to Jerusalem and before a networking meeting, and she tapped me through so that I wouldn't panic meeting new people. Dealing with stress over the past 2 years, wow. Avoiding the news or only doing it in minimal dosages. And
Which
things like
is
that.
actually
Right.
very, very healthy, by the way. Very, very
Right.
healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, cut down on social media and things like that. Things that I mean, I need it for work because I'm advertising and marketing. So, but to try to cut down what I'm reading and what I'm watching and stay and getting online in a lot of calls, knowing that I'm not by myself and that there's other people out there also doing the same thing and also going through the same situation, talking about it, talking about what we're going through.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay, Vanessa, you've been through a lot of stress lately.
Well, I think, for me, it's through like aligning my mind and my body, because I feel sometimes my mind is telling me something different to what I feel inside, by my body.
Oh, yeah.
And so like you have tension here, but you don't know what the feeling is, or you don't know where it's coming from, or you don't know why, or and so you're holding quite a lot. And so what I have lots of different ways of let's say grounding myself. I do it through yoga, because yoga it helps me to breathe, because I forget how to breathe. When I do get like sad or anxious for whatever reason. And also dancing. I just like what you said before, Michelle, you were taught to like by your doctor, correct, with the cholesterol for it to go down. With
blood pressure.
blood pressure, pardon me. With through the, and basically, what I've learned through yoga is that, it's how to take in oxygen. And when you need to take in oxygen. So like if like I drop, I don't know about all of you, but I have like a dropping point certain days, a time of the day, like for example, the afternoon between 4 and 6. And I could be working or I could have nothing planned, because my life is quite dynamic. Just the way it is. And so it's just like I learned how to, like with the yoga, you stretch, you breathe in like that, stretching, and then you release through your nose. And that's bringing in oxygen. So whenever I feel tired or I feel I want to just get my brain, like a brain fog, to stand up or to do a stretch, and it helps a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's a brilliant way of doing it. Okay, I love the yoga aspect as well. And of course, dancing is fantastic. In actual fact, any kind of movement is fantastic. Whether you go for a walk, whether you do dancing. I did dancing this morning.
Cool.
And how did I do it? In my basement, put YouTube on and got going. I said to everybody, don't talk to me for the next 20 minutes. I am busy doing my dancing. And it's energized me for the entire day, and I feel fantastic because of it. And it didn't cost me anything except my time. So, it's it's free, it's wonderful. Yeah.
And I just wanted to add on to that, because I'm sure all of you, and I know some of you are part of ISRA, but they have a walking group now that they've just started. Just for it's for men and women, but they're mostly women. And it's every Tuesday morning at Tarboro, that area.
Yeah.
But you need to be a little bit fit because there's up and down. But even if you don't do the whole thing, it's just getting the fresh air. And I actually met people, and it was like networking and making new friends.
Lovely.
Women from Tel Aviv, Brunana, all over, Natalia. So I know that you're also organizing something, Michelle, as well on the Tuesday morning as well. There's a coffee morning, correct?
Yeah, there is. It's not going to be this month, but there is normally, yeah.
You're not going to make okay. But yeah. So I was just saying something also like when you're with people, that's also a nice distraction.
Well, that's a very good point, because that's one of the things about Steel Sisters, and why one of the reasons why I started it is because I wanted to have that connection with other women. Okay. And when we are with, even if it's just one other friend, and having a half an hour chat or a 10-minute chat, or going out for breakfast or lunch, or spending the whole day together, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because what it does, it really releases the endorphins in our bodies and allows us to just relax and connect. And when we have that connection with other people, it really helps us. We have what they call the feel-good hormone comes into being. And it's an amazing feeling, just having that 10-minute conversation on the phone, getting out and being with a friend, sitting and having a cup of coffee or tea or whatever it is with somebody, a glass of wine, having a good laugh. All these things are so, so important for our well-being. And never think to yourself, oh, I wasted time. I, sat on the phone with Marianne for an hour, or with Anne for 2 minutes, or for standing for 5 minutes, or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter who, what, or why. But the point is this, is that connection is what is so important for us. And I've seen, like like Vanessa mentioned, with the Steel Sisters in the coffee mornings, how important they have become for so many people, and having that connection. So it's very important that you do that, and you do it with anybody. It doesn't matter if it's a neighbor, if it's somebody that you know from the shops, and you just sit and have a chat with them for 5 minutes. You cannot believe what a difference it makes to the way you feel. And we don't realize what's really going on with inside our bodies at the same time. But it's just that distraction, that time to share things, that time to possibly open up and cry, or laugh, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it's very, very important to do. So, okay. All right. So, Marianne, you want to quickly show us your trees, and then we're going to ask Anne before we get on to,
So I've got two different types. I don't know if you can see. This one is a little weeping willow.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's that one, which is with beads. Oh, wrong way.
Yeah. Lovely.
just for you to see what I do.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
that is a de-stressor for you, right?
Can you put the
Yeah.
first one up again, Marianne?
My little weeping willow.
We're
Hang on.
going to we're going to organize a workshop with Marianne through Steel Sisters shortly. And we'll do a
that's nice.
workshop. We'll do a workshop together and have a bit of fun with it. So okay. So Sandy, you'll join us, right? Okay, so that's it. And okay, last but definitely not least, what has helped you with stress?
Okay, look, from October the 7th for about a year, I was totally non-functional. I couldn't do a thing. I lost 6 kilos. I had constant stomach pain. I went for every test in the world. No doctor could find anything wrong with me, but I just lost weight and lost weight and lost weight. And eventually I went on to Accredited, which is totally, now there is none in the country. You cannot get any Accredited anti-anxiety in this country because.
Well, that's what I said with my doctor who's prescribing the left, right, and center.
So, but eventually I came right. I stopped watching the news 24 hours a day, which I was doing. My dog, thank God, has saved me. I take him for walks all the time, and we live very near the beach, so we go to the beach and we relax there. And now I found a job, which is a horrible job, working with an old lady of 97 who's a bottle, okay? But I go in there and I play the piano. All the guests, for all the residents there, all the people that are there, get up, they sing, they dance, they all go crazy. I sing with them, and that is the biggest stress relief you could ever imagine. Really.
I would imagine. And also, you also, like Sandy said, giving to others, and because you're giving to others, it's making you feel good as well.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that you enjoy playing the piano and you're very good at it. So, you know, the two together makes a difference all round. That's brilliant. Okay.
I love the way you said it was boring, but you didn't make it sound like it was boring.
Look, I've had a lot of problems with her because when I started a few months ago, she was fine, and now she's gone totally demented, okay? But I enjoy the social
aspect. There you go.
Enjoy the social aspect, talking to other people, and old men coming to me and saying, "Thank you, you made my day. You play so beautifully, and can you play this, and can you do this?" And then I play. You can't believe the feeling that I get besides other people. It's really good.
It's amazing. That's exactly what you're looking for, is that feel good mood, that feeling inside you, which is so important, and you know that you've given to others at the same time, which is amazing. Amazing. Okay, great. So now I'm going to introduce Hilary, okay, because we've now discussed what is all about stress and how we can help ourselves and what we've done to help ourselves with stress. So let me just see. Okay. All right. Hang on a moment. All right. So Hilary is the mother of 7 children. Okay, and also founded Innergised Living.
Innergised, sorry.
Innergised. Okay, sorry.
That's tricky.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So she lives in Johannesburg with lots of family ties in Israel, as we've heard about her children, and of course friends and other people. And now she's got another few friends with us all here. So as a certified advanced EFT practitioner, EFT meaning emotional freedom techniques. Am I correct, Hilary, when I say that?
Exactly.
Right. Okay. and also an educator for over 20 years. Hilary specializes in transformative sessions tailored to addressing your individual needs. So, as a student of personal growth, Hilary has seen remarkable results from utilizing EFT to release anxiety, overwhelm, phobias, fear, limiting beliefs, and much more, fostering a sense of calm and peace in her clients' lives as well as, of course, in her own. Hilary is passionate about sharing practical applications of EFT, or as we all call it, tapping, mainly with women. She also loves facilitating her clients' growth, healing, and thriving, thereby enabling them to live a more successful and empowered life. So you can understand why we are connected, because of the empowerment as well, which is a very important part. So Hilary, over to you, and you're going to take us through it. Let's go.
Super. Firstly, I would like to say thank you so much to Michelle and your Steel Sisters platform and all these amazing ladies for joining us, and for the opportunity to share my gifts that Hashem has given me with you. Because as you said, I've seen remarkable results using EFT. I started off on my own journey with tapping because eventually with talk therapy, and it has its place, I'm not knocking talk therapy, but eventually you can talk the hind legs of a donkey and still feel like you haven't shifted. Whereas with
absolutely.
Exactly. So with the tapping, and it's EFT, as Michelle said, it's emotional freedom technique, not electronic fund transfer, although hopefully that will come with time as well. So not come with time, it's already coming through. But so it's probably one of the most healing modalities in the world today, and it works very rapidly. It's long lasting, and you don't have to have drugs or any other intervention, no equipment's needed. It's easily learned and it's extremely empowering. And since it can be self-applied so easily, I love being able to empower people by showing them how to do it. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a very brief overview of what EFT is. I don't like to focus so much on the tapping theory, as opposed to, I'd rather show you how to do it, and then at least you have a tool that you can go away with. So at 10 o'clock at night, when you're feeling stressed and, the practitioner's gone to sleep, we should be so lucky, then then you can actually do it for yourself when you're feeling anxious.
Or
when
at 2 in the morning when you
so.
can't sleep.
Exactly. Exactly. So the basic theory for EFT is that all negative emotions and behaviors and many of the physical discomforts that they cause are the results of disruptions in your body's energy system. So some people call it meridians, some people call it the chakras. It's all connected. When I'm talking about the energy system, it refers to the meridians, which is actually used in Chinese acupuncture. I sometimes call EFT the acupuncture without the needles, combined with a bit of Western psychology. It's just an easy way of explaining it. So the meridians themselves are actually energy channels that are connected to all your major organs, and they run throughout your body symmetrically. And any imbalance can cause dis-ease, which is disease, sickness. I mean, as Sandy mentioned earlier, that's what happens because our body does keep the score with all our traumas, with all our childhood stuff. That's where it starts. And then we just expand on those layers. So Gary Craig was actually the developer, and he combined Chinese acupressure and modern psychology, and in order to be able to unblock the disruption in the energy flow. And by tapping on specific meridians, which are primarily on the head and the face, that's in a particular sequence, while verbalizing or mentally focusing on the physical pain or the negative emotion, whatever it might be, such as fear, worry. We don't know anything about that, right? No anxiety in this group at all. Exactly. So then this technique actually releases the disruptions, and it calms your nervous system, and that restores balance within your body, which allows you to feel relaxed and empowered. And not only that, but it also stops the dis-ease within your body so that you can actually feel healthier. So not only do you get the benefit of actually calming the nervous system and feeling calm and at peace, but it actually heals your body in a sense. Not that I can actually say that EFT heals, but I'm saying, we see the benefits of it.
Well,
So
can I just say, add in here that when you think about the word dis-ease, it'll come from an educator point of perspective. The word dis means no, okay, or not. And ease, as we know, is not, so it's not at ease, okay, which is,
beautiful.
and that is what's happening when we talk about any kind of disease. Okay, what is happening and where did that word come from? It came from the word not being at ease. And when we think of all the stresses that we have from the time we were a baby to where we are today as adults, our bodies have been through so much. And that's why it's come about. Okay, so carry on.
100%. And to add on to what you're saying is that's why when we're tapping with children, they shift so much faster than adults do because they don't have the baggage and the layers that we have. So it definitely makes a big difference as we get older and the layers, keep on piling up of all the different traumas and things that we've been through and the stresses that we've been through. And it doesn't have to be big T traumas. We're not necessarily talking about, God forbid, a big, car accident or abuse or things like that. Sometimes those little T traumas where it's neglect or abandonment or feeling alone, those little things can actually make a big difference, and sometimes even more of a difference than what they call the big T traumas, like your big incidents. And listen, let's face it, war's not for sissies.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So there's a lot of people walking around with trauma, and that's why one of the reasons that I really want to share this gift with the world is to enable other people to actually use it as a tool in everyday life.
Okay, so
that's where we're up to. Okay.
All right.
So I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you the tapping points, and we're going to go straight into a practical how to use tapping. I'd also don't let me forget to teach you the secret tapping points.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing that I sometimes forget, so I'm going to say it right now, is that with tapping, sometimes after the tapping, you can feel a number of things. You can feel energized, you can feel exhausted, you can feel anything in between that. You can feel lighter, you can feel calm, but just honor your body and notice what it needs. And if you need, most of us, it's getting later, so you'll be able to go to sleep after this if you need to. And also just to drink water, because just like you go to the gym or you do yoga, Vanessa, so too, when you're actually tapping, it's actually using up a lot of emotional energy by doing the tapping. So just make sure that you hydrate yourself as well. If you've got water now, that would be even better. Also, sometimes it's good
Sandy's
to have
running to get water.
tissues.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Brilliant. Anybody want to get water, go for it. If you want to have tissues handy, that's also great. And I'm going to wait for Sandy to get back, and then we can carry on going.
Right. Okay, while we're waiting, one of the things that you and I have discussed, and I'm going to bring it up here, is surrogate tapping. Because I've had quite a few people ask me about that. And what exactly is it and how exactly does it work? So when we talk surrogate tapping, what does that mean? How does it work?
So that's an excellent question. First of all, when you think of surrogate tapping, what does that bring up for people? Anybody want to put in the chat or feel comfortable to unmute yourselves if you don't mind being on the recording?
Basically, it's just trying to help somebody else who can't help themselves, as far as I'm concerned. you're doing something for somebody who may be a small child who can't do the tapping, maybe a person who is unable to do it for themselves because of hand problems, anything like that, physical problems, or even a mental problem.
But
Brilliant.
it also could be, I agree with you there, but it also could be for somebody who doesn't believe in tapping, but doesn't understand what tapping is all about. Am I right? Or are you shaking your head, Marianne? So do you want to comment on that, Hilary?
Marianne,
Hilary?
okay, perfect. So generally speaking, when we actually do surrogate tapping, one of the things we do is, okay, so let me just backtrack 1 second. Firstly, when you're actually doing the tapping, how does it work? You're tapping on the acupressure points and it sends a calming signal to the amygdala. This is all tapping into our energy flow. How do we connect to Hashem, to God, the universe, however you term it? We connect through energy. How do we connect to one another? Is through energy. There's a certain amount of energy in this room according to the people that are in the group. Every different group that I do is a different energy according to the people in the group, because that's how we connect. So too, when you're doing surrogate tapping, you're not going to be able to tap for somebody who doesn't want you to tap. I don't know. I don't want to go too much into the things that are very, I guess, esoteric is maybe the word that I'm looking for. But we all have an neshama. We all have a soul. And even within our own bodies, we connect to our soul through energy. And our soul is connected to Hashem, God, the universe, however you call it, through energy. So when we're doing the surrogate tapping, you're tapping for somebody else only if they give you permission, in a sense, energetically. Whenever we start off the tapping, we automatically tune into whether, if it's not going to go and we can't get any answers, if you can call it that, when we're actually doing the surrogate tapping, then it just means that that person is closed off to their soul, on a soul level, that they're closed off to the tapping itself. Generally speaking, I don't find that though. Usually most people, when you're doing surrogate tapping, it's usually it can even be for a loved one. I mean, we've done a lot of surrogate tapping during the war for people that have been in the army and the hostages, and there are quite a few EFT practitioners, including Paul Lopian, who most of you probably know, in Israel, who's done amazing surrogate tapping work in order to be able to just send love, to send healing energy to whoever it might be. The thing with the surrogate tapping is that when you're actually tapping for another person, it's crazy how it works that even then it can shift a person either on a physical or a psychological level or mental, in various different ways. There have been so many stories with regards to surrogate tapping, of people tapping for a child, let's say, for example, and the relationship between them has improved, or the child suddenly phones them from overseas and they haven't had contact with them for ages, or, all sorts of different things like that. And it sounds very woo-woo, but if we know the fact that everything is connected through energy, then it's actually not woo-woo at all. And just for anybody that's interested in terms of halachically, there's no problem with doing tapping, neither the surrogate tapping nor actually tapping on ourselves, just from a Jewish law point of view, if anybody's interested to know that.
Okay.
Because we're not connecting to energies that are not halachically, there's no halachic issue with that. Just as a side point, if anybody needed to know that.
All right. Okay. So we all got water and we're all ready to start.
Brilliant. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to do a tap and breathe. And as we're doing the tap and breathing, I'm going to actually show you the tapping points. So firstly, if you don't mind just putting in the chat over there, who, or even a show of hands, who knows anything about EFT or has experienced EFT before for themselves, just to make sure. Brilliant. Okay. So for the rest of you, this will be a little bit new and a little bit woo-woo. It might be, but at the same time, there are so many peer group studies. If anybody Googles Dr. Peter Stapleton, she's in Australia and she has done so many peer group studies on tapping and the benefits of tapping, and especially for PTSD. It's one of those modalities that's actually fast acting and long lasting, as opposed to some modalities which don't necessarily work for PTSD. Okay, so without further ado, let's do some tapping. Okay, so on the side of your hand, some people call it the karate chop point. It's in between your baby finger and your wrist. On that fatty part of your hand, we're going to tap on the side of the hand. It used to be called the karate chop point for obvious reasons. Hiya, sugiyaki. Okay. So that's the side of the hand. And that's where we start off with a setup statement. And if you don't know what to say, literally you can tap and breathe, or you can tap and talk to yourself like you would to a friend. And it has the same effect. So before we even start tapping, I just want you to tune into any feeling or any discomfort in your body. In fact, let's just stop right there and just put your feet on the ground, put your hands in your lap, and I invite you to close your eyes for a minute. And just take a deep breath in and breathe out. And another deep breath in and breathe out. And I invite you to just tune into your body and notice where in your body you might feel any discomfort. Any feeling that might be popping up over there, any intense feeling. And just notice if it's got a color. Is it a dark color? Is it a light color? Is it a nice color or a happy color or a horrible color? And if it has a shape, and the shape could just be a mass of color, or it could be an actual shape. Whatever you're noticing, there's no judgments here. You're just noticing what you're noticing. And on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is the most intense and 0 is nothing at all, where is that emotion, that discomfort, that feeling in your body? Where is it holding right now? And once you've noticed all these things, I invite you to just put in the chat over there anything that might be coming up for you. Whether it's a feeling, whether it's where in your body you're feeling it, and the intensity. Okay. So you can just put in the chat what exactly, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whatever might be coming up for you. Right. Just going to give you just some time to put it in. Right. All right. Sometimes what I do, and I actually did it the first time at a seniors group, I wasn't sure how that would go down, is actually there's a thing where you can actually stand up and you can touch your toes. I'm not going to make you do it right now, but you stand up and you touch your toes and you see how far you can go with obviously hold like with your knees straight. And I said to everybody, please don't laugh at me because I know I can't touch my toes. Vanessa, I'm going to have to go do some yoga for that. And there were two ladies over there that could touch their toes. And they're like, I was like blown away by it. And then what you do is we actually do a round of tapping and you go and you do the same thing and you touch your toes. And generally speaking, I'm not going to do it, as I say, because I'm not going to make you stand up and do it. But what happens is that you can always go further once you've done a round of tapping, which just shows how the muscles relax and things calm down. And you're talking about the migraines, depends on which part of the world you're in as to how you pronounce it. But I gifted somebody I gifted a few tapping, like 20-minute tapping sessions. And this woman came to me for one of these 20-minute tapping sessions. And she had been suffering from migraines for like 45 years daily. And it was incredible. We did the tapping. And after that, I checked up with her and she didn't have a migraine for 2 weeks after that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just amazing how it just helps to calm the body, to relax the muscles, amongst other things. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so as I was saying, side of the hand, we're going to start tapping, and it doesn't matter which side you start with or which side you tap on, because the meridians go symmetrically through your body. It really doesn't matter. Some people prefer tapping one side, some people prefer tapping both sides. And you don't have to knock yourself out when you're tapping. It's gentle taps. You can do like about 7 taps. It really doesn't matter. You're just tapping on the side of your hand. Okay. So the first round we're going to just do a tap and breathe. So as we're tapping, we're going to breathe in and breathe out. That's the side of the hand. Then the top of the head is very simple. It's the top of the head. It's the crown of the head. It's where the men put their tefillin on, whatever it might be, however you know, it's just the top of the head. And take a deep breath in and breathe out. Some people actually go around like that, and some people tap like that. I just prefer to just tap like that. And you can tap with 1 finger, with 2 fingers, with your whole hand. As I said, it's very forgiving, whatever feels comfortable for you. And if by the time Hillary's finished talking, you're exhausted, you can swap hands as well if your hand's getting tired. Whatever feels good. Then the next point is the eyebrow point. So literally where your eyebrow starts, that is exactly where you're tapping. And as I say, you can tap with 1 side, other side, both sides, 1 finger, 2 fingers, your whole hand, doesn't matter. That's what we call the eyebrow point. Now, if you follow your eyebrow to the end of your eyebrow, along that bone, that's called the side of the eye. Just breathe in and breathe out. Sorry, ladies with glasses, it makes it very challenging. But if you can get around them or under them or however you do it. Now, carrying on with that bone, you get to literally the middle of your eye. Okay. And that's called under the eye. That's the tapping point under the eye. Deep breath in and breathe out. Under the nose is very easy. It's in that groove in between your nose and your lip. You tap there, however it is. Deep breath in and breathe out. On the chin is actually in that groove in between your lip and your chin. Collarbone is actually a little bit tricky. If you can feel that bone that goes across, and you get to, it's almost like a V where the men's ties are. And you get to the top of that V and you go slightly towards your armpits, a little bit down. That is called the collarbone. And it's a little bit hollow there. And when you go, oh, ah, like Tarzan, then you got the right spot. Some people actually prefer just tapping like this, and that gets the spot as well. Whatever feels more comfortable for you, you do what's good for you. Some people like tapping together. Some people like alternating. Doesn't make any difference. Breathe in and breathe out. Now, under the arm is literally if you put your hand under your armpit and you go one hand down. So for ladies, it's in line with their bra strap. And that's called under the arm. Now, if you're a little bit bigger breasted, then it's very difficult to do it both ways. But some people like to do it that way because you feel like you're actually giving yourself a hug. And other people feel it's uncomfortable. So you can just tap one side, the other side. As I said, doesn't make any difference. Breath in and breathe out. And now I invite you to end off the round with a breath in and breathe out. That is what's called a round of tapping. Okay. So just by doing a round of tapping without any words and just by a show of hands, this is for up, that's for down, and that's for it stayed the same. The intensity of that feeling that you were tuning into earlier, has it gone up? Has it gone down? Or has it stayed the same? Down. Okay, great. Would anybody like to say why it would go up? I mean, it doesn't seem like anybody's gone up, but why would it go up? Anybody think of a reason why it would go up?
Thinking too much.
Sorry, Sandy, what did you say?
Thinking too much.
Thinking too much. It could be bringing up something else. Exactly. Vanessa?
Yeah, I think I was going to say something similar to Sandy, is that you're not focused, you're distracted, and maybe you have other pain, maybe something else has come up.
Brilliant.
Whilst you're doing it as well.
Exactly. And you wanted to say something?
Maybe it's like a fear of losing control. So you're not really relaxed while you're doing it.
Could be. Could be. So one of the main reasons why it goes up is exactly as Sandy and Vanessa and alluded to, is that you're actually now focusing on it. Whereas before you might have been distracted, you might not have been thinking about it. Here you're actually focusing on it. So the intensity could actually go up. Or there are other aspects that are popping up all of a sudden that didn't pop up before as you're doing the tapping. There are a lot of reasons why it could be, but those are just some of the reasons why the intensity could actually go up before it goes down. And it could also be that sometimes if we're tapping in a group with a lot of people, and sometimes I'll do a tapping on one particular person, it could be that that person starts feeling those emotions and taking on the other person's things that they didn't before as well. So that could also increase their intensity, or it could bring up something that they didn't think about before that suddenly comes up. Okay, so those are all different reasons why it would go up. The one thing I say to my clients when I'm first starting out a session is yawning, burping, crying, laughing, any of those things, and there's a whole bunch more, are definitely very welcome. But a lot of times those indicate a shift. And a shift in your energy, it means that the energy is unblocking, and that's very, very helpful. Okay.
I was yawning a lot.
I noticed.
I was going like, wow.
I feel so relaxed.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Because otherwise, I might have forgotten to actually mention that. So thank you for that. Okay, brilliant. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is I'd like to actually do another round where we're actually using your words. Okay, so, and this is how we actually do it in a tapping group itself. Okay, even though, and I invite you, you can all mute yourselves and just repeat after me the words. And if it doesn't resonate for you, don't worry about it. The nice thing about tapping is that when you're tapping in a group, you get what's called the borrowed benefits of tapping with other people. So even if it might not be your issue, you get the borrowed benefits of actually using those words to be able to tune into your body and to be able to release energy in your body. Okay. So even though, and you're going to just repeat after me, even though.
Even though.
I have this pain in my body. I'm open to the possibility that I can love and accept myself exactly where I'm at. And even though I've been so stressed, especially in the last 2 years, I'm open to the possibility that I can release some of that stress now. And you can do your two hands together if you'd like, even though I have these palpitations, these pains, my stomach is sore. Just feel free to just put in the gaps over there, whatever it is that's bothering you. Sore left shoulder, the eye, running around in circles. It's all connected. I'm open to the possibility that I can allow myself to relax. Top of the head. This pain in my jaw. This sore stomach. This discomfort in my neck that's going into my hands. All these palpitations. I feel like I'm running around in circles. All this pain in my eye, or discomfort, or itchiness, or whatever it might be. The bone, a sore shoulder. This is my body telling me that it's trying to keep me safe. And I don't like these feelings or these pains. But I acknowledge my body trying to keep me safe. Under the arm. I thank my body for trying to protect me and keep me safe. Deep breath in. Breathe out. I invite you now just to close your eyes and just tune into your body and notice what you're noticing. Has the pain shifted? Has the discomfort shifted? Where is it now? How intense does it feel now? On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most intense and 0 nothing at all, where is it holding now? Has the color changed? Is it darker? Is it lighter? Is it brighter? Is it happier or worse? And has the shape gone bigger or smaller? And as you notice in your body, I invite you to just put in the chat if there's any shifts or any changes. And you can use your thumbs if you want to, whether it's gone up, whether it's gone down, or whether it stayed the same. Great. Down. In fact, if anybody wants to put in the chat, is anybody a 5 or above? You can just put yes or no.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Thank you for asking. So on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is the most intense and 0 is nothing at all, where is the pain or the discomfort holding now? Is it a 5 or above? And if it is, then just put in the chat yes. If it's less than a 5, then you can put no. Great. All right. Because I'm cognizant of the fact that this is going onto YouTube, I'm not going to actually tap with you personally, but feel free to reach out to me after this tapping if the levels are still like really intense. Because normally what I would do in a tapping group, if it wasn't going on YouTube and we weren't cognizant of that, is to actually tap with you personally in order to be able to shift that. But
We
okay.
can edit it out if you want to. If somebody wants to have the tapping experience, I'm happy to do that, and then we'll edit it out afterwards. Or I can now can't stop the recording and start again. So cause problems with the editing. But what we
Perfect.
can do is certainly edit it out. If somebody
Okay.
wants to do that.
Does maybe you can just comment in the chat or just raise your hand if you'd like to actually do a one-on-one tapping and that we can edit out. Otherwise, we'll go another round and then you'll see, like, let's just see after this if you still need to. Okay. All right.
There was a question before you carry on. Okay, all right, okay, it can wait. It can wait. That's it. All right.
Okay. Perfect. I see. Perfect. Okay, so what I'd like to do is just do another round of tapping and then let's see from there. Okay.
Okay.
Even though I still have this intense pain or discomfort or whatever it is for you, I'm open to the possibility that I can allow my muscles to relax. And even though I still have this discomfort and it's a 5 or above, I acknowledge my body for trying to keep me safe. And even though I still have this intense pain, it feels so strong. I'm open to the possibility that I can love and accept exactly where I'm at. This intense pain, I've had it for so long. All this anxiety from all the stress that I've had to deal with in my life. Side of the eye. I acknowledge this pain. I'm willing to cut myself some slack, even though I feel all this pain. I still have so much pain in my body. This discomfort in my mind and body. I'm open to letting it go. Collarbone. Maybe I can let it go and get some ice cream at the Macollet. Or go play on Yaffa Street. And I'm wondering who I would be without this pain and without this discomfort. I'm open to letting go of this pain and discomfort right now from every cell in my body. Maybe. Maybe not. But maybe. Okay, deep breath in. And breathe out. If you don't mind just raising your hands if you're still a 5 or above. Okay. I invite everybody to just put in the chat now how you would like to feel. Okay. So now what we're going to do is obviously we wait until the intensity has gone down to below a 5. So for those of you that aren't, we're going to do this round, but let's see how this round goes, and maybe even what we call a positive round can actually shift that as well for you. So let's see how that does. Okay. All right. So we start on the side of the hand, even though I still have some intense pain and anxiety. I'm open to the possibility that I can let it go. The hand. And even though I still have this discomfort in my body, it's holding on for dear life and not letting go. I'm open to the possibility that I can release it in this moment and feel a little bit more relaxed. top of the head. I'm open to the possibility that I can relax. I'm willing to feel. And whatever you're willing to feel, whether it's relaxed, or loose, or free, side of the eye. I'm choosing to relax just in this moment, just for now. I am safe. Under the eye. I can choose to be free and calm and the real me. Under the nose. I know what it feels like to feel to be the real me. The happy-go-lucky, the relaxed, peaceful, free me. On the chin. I am open to the possibility that I can let all these fears fly away. I'm handing them back to Hashem, to God, however you put it. I'm trusting just in this moment that I can let it go. It's not mine to hold. And I'm wondering how it would feel without it, without all these fears, without this anxiety. Under the arm. I'm giving myself so much love. A huge hug. And I'm letting myself relax. Allowing myself to feel fantastic. Exactly where I'm at. Free. Calm. At peace. Just in this moment. Deep breath in. And breathe out. How's everybody doing? Just want to check in quickly with everybody on a scale of 0 to 10. If 10 is the most intense and 0 is nothing at all, if you don't mind just putting in the chat where you're holding right now. Okay, great. While you're putting that in the chat, I don't want to forget teaching you the tapping points. Great. Okay, wonderful. I would do a meditation with you, but we will run out of time. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for the secret tapping points. So you're sitting in the car, you're about to go into a board meeting. For the kids, they're just about to go into an exam, or they're sitting in class and they're about to write an exam. The amazing thing is that we can use the finger points, which is another way of actually tapping. So the tapping points are literally, if your thumb is face up, literally where the nail touches the bed, the actual skin, that is where you tap. Okay. And the tapping points literally go from that finger to that finger to that finger. It's actually that way, but we're not even going to go that way. We're just going to, for ease of reference, we're going to just do it like this. Another way of doing it is actually just fiddling with our fingers or squeezing on either side of the nail bed. I find that one works very well for me. And most people play with their fingers. Our body actually knows these tapping points already. A lot of people play with their fingers. I don't know if you've ever noticed anybody playing with their fingers.
Mm.
You can literally go through the fingers just like that. Another one is actually where people go, oy vey, or oh my goodness. Your body knows the acupressure points already, and it's like a way of calming you down without even you knowing it. So yeah, so these are what I call the secret tapping points, because when I'm doing it like this, you have no clue that I'm sitting here and tapping on my fingers. What Vanessa's doing is also another way of doing it, where you can actually use either one, and you can actually use your fingers like that. Brilliant. You can do a whole dance with it. The horror.
And when you're doing this, is there any particular sequence that you need to do it the same as when we're doing it on our head and eyes and face and everywhere?
So you don't have to do it in a sequence. The reason it's done in a sequence is just, first of all, for ease of access, and also just that way I find if you're doing it the same way every single time, you remember it a lot better as well. So when I'm teaching it to my clients, or I'm doing it with my clients, obviously, if you're doing it the same way, it's, as I say, it just flows better that way. And also you learn the tapping points better if you're doing it in a sequence. So normally when you're doing the fingers, you start with the thumb and then you go to the next finger and the next finger. Usually when you're doing the tapping, and then you can go to the other hand. But if you mess up, or you miss out on one, or you forget it, forget which finger you were on, and you were daydreaming and you go into another finger, or you go into another tapping point. The nice thing about EFT is it's very forgiving, and it really doesn't matter in the bigger scheme of things. I'm not going to go into it tonight, but each point actually is linked to a different part of your body. And I had a client once who actually was tapping with me, and there was one particular point where she actually couldn't tap on that point, and she went to the doctor. She had an appointment with the doctor the next day, and there definitely was an issue with that organ that she was actually that she actually had to have medical treatment for, or something like that. So yeah, if there's any points that you don't actually feel comfortable tapping on, or doesn't feel right, or you get pain when you're tapping on that, it's a good idea to just check. You can even Google the acupressure points if you want to, and see what it equates to.
Okay. Great.
Super.
Okay. So are you finished?
I'm finished. I think, does anybody have any questions or want to know anything else?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is this. Before we ask any questions or anything like that, Hilary wants to put up her details. So if anybody wants to contact her, you can do so. So we're going to let her do that, and then we'll ask the questions, and we'll cut the recording, and we'll be able to get into a more personal discussion and ask questions. All right? Okay. Somebody did ask a question earlier, and I just want you to answer that before we go into it.
Perfect.
Okay. What happens if you miss a point, and is there a point in holding the wrist? As in holding the wrist.
What do you mean by holding the wrists? I don't know if it says there. So as I said, it doesn't matter if you miss a point. Because it's a very forgiving process. If you miss one of the spots or anything like that, it really doesn't matter. You can just pick it up the next round, or just be wary of the fact that if you are missing that point on a regular basis, just to check out what exactly that point is. And you can actually do that with an experienced practitioner, and see what exactly is it linking to, because it could be a physical thing that's actually manifesting, or something that you need to check out actually.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm going to stop the recording now. I hope everybody's got Hilary's details, and we are going to then get into questions and have another discussion.